Hello, good evening everyone. I hope all of you are safe and sound and keep on learning also at the same time, because this competition will not stop. Even if we put any kind of lockdown, the competition will in place. Okay, so let me introduce myself first. I am Dr. Sudhir Kumar. I am a dental surgeon and master's and JRF in anthropology. I have extensive experience with this exam, UPSC CSC, as a student and also as a mentor and teacher. I have qualified civil services mains 5 times, and I have been teaching for 4 years for civil services aspirants. Earlier I also have served in CRPF as assistant commandant. So this is about myself, and this session, today's session, is about anthropology optional, right? So we are going to discuss 2 very important things about anthropology optional. The first is anthropology as an optional, and the second thing is why you should choose this as your optional. See, all of you know that optional subject is your key for success in this examination. If you score decent marks in your optional, it will not help you to get into the list, but you will get a decent rank so that you can qualify to become an IAS, IPS, or whatever your choice and preferences are. So, optional subject, if you are working hard, right, if you are doing a guided hard work, then you can very well score 60 to 65% marks. 60 to 65% marks is very important and very crucial for your success, for your qualification to become an IAS officer. So, optional is very key, and in optional, your choice now matters a lot. If you make a right choice now, and with that choice, if it can help you to save time, to put your efforts in a right direction, then it will be a very good initial step. So that is why we are having this session for today, and we have divided this session into 2 parts. One is anthropology as an optional, and the second thing is why you should choose this. So let me start with the first part, anthropology as an optional. So anthropology is basically the study of men. It is a systematic or scientific study of men. And now, study of men, that means we ourselves. Now, what is the relevance of study of men in civil services examination? Why civil services examination have anthropology as an optional? What is the significance of our own study? Right? Without any significance to civil services, this examination, this optional will not find a place in the list of 48 optionals. Right? And if it is in the list of those 48 optionals, so let me put this entire thing in context, right, by just telling you one thing, that as per the 69th annual report of UPSC, anthropology is the 6th most popular optional subject with a success rate of 9.7%, right, according to this report, right. And out of these top 6 optional subjects, anthropology has the best success rate. Okay, so this is anthropology as an optional. Now, this thing you know, that anthropology is the study of human beings, that means us, and it has a decent success rate, right? it has a decent success rate, and it is the most popular of the successful disciplines, successful optionals. If I see, then many of the civil services aspirants may not have even heard of anthropology, right? Because in academics, anthropology is not very popular. There is hardly any university or colleges which offers courses in anthropology, or after even people do this anthropology masters or PhD, they don't find much jobs outside. So it is not that popular. But for UPSC it is very, very popular. It is 6th most popular discipline, and there must be various reasons for it. So before coming to those reasons that why it is popular among the students, among the aspirants of UPSC, let me tell you in brief that if you want to make a choice, if you have to choose a subject, optional subject, then what criteria you should look. And then we will see whether anthropology justifies or whether it fits into those criteria and up to what extent. Okay? So let me give you some key criteria that you can consider when you make a choice, when you have to opt a subject, optional subject for your preparation, for your qualification to be an IAS officer, right? So let me give you some criteria, and I have divided these criteria into 5 major headings. So let us see one by one all these headings. So number 1 is the first and foremost thing that everybody should look into is whether the optional subject is interesting or not. Whether it is interesting or not. And with this thing, with this heading, I have merged another dimension, right? Interesting, and whether it is easy for the aspirants from all backgrounds, from all academic backgrounds. That is the first criteria. If you have to make a choice, so this is the first and the foremost criteria you should look into. The second criteria that you should look is whether the optional subject is scoring or not. So the second thing is scoring and success rate. The third criteria is the syllabus, nature of syllabus. And this syllabus I have divided into 2 parts, right? Whether syllabus is large or extensive or short. So large versus short, or extensive versus very short. The second in syllabus, whether syllabus is static or dynamic. Whether the syllabus is static or it is very dynamic, that you have to update on a daily basis. Then fourth thing that you should consider is the nature of questions. The nature of questions that are asked in the mains examination. Okay, and the fifth thing that you should consider is benefit in GS, okay, essay and interview. These are the 5 key criterias that I consider very, very important, and if I have to make a choice, then I must apply these criterias so that my decision now is the best ever decision, because on this decision my fate, right, the result of my dream is depending, right. What you will become is mainly, I'm not saying completely, but mainly determined by the score in your optional subject. And these are the 5 key criteria that you should look into when you have to make a choice. So the first thing is, if the subject is not interesting, if it is not interesting, then you will not find sufficient energy to read the text again and again. You will get bored, right? And you will not put your energies in a right direction because you lack interest. Without interest, we humans can do no good. We cannot do anything without interest, right? You will just pick up the book, sit with it, but you will not learn anything. And without learning, you cannot qualify this exam. This exam requires very dedicated, guided hard work. You cannot, sit lethargic and just dreaming of qualifying this exam. No. It requires energy. It requires your enthusiasm. Okay. So, interest is the most important thing that you should consider the foremost. The second part of this very same heading is whether it is easy for all backgrounds or not. That means I am an engineer, or I am a doctor, or I am a lawyer, I belong to humanities background or any other background. Whether the discipline will suit me or not, or it will create unnecessary burden for me or not. Right. So that is another criteria that I put in one heading. I will tell you later on why. Right. That I have kept in one heading, interest and easy. Both are correlated. If you have interest in something, automatically that thing will become easy for you also. You can put some extra effort for that, right? So the first thing is whether your optional subject is interesting or not, or whether it is easy for aspirants from all backgrounds, right? The second thing is scoring and success rate. See, if you find 2 optionals and you find that both optionals are equally good for me, A is also good and B is also good, I find interest in both of them, then you should look that which one have higher success rate, which one will give you better score with the same amount of hard work, right? So scoring and success rate, because ultimately you are not here to master any discipline, any optional subject. The optional subject that you choose here is just helping you to secure a good rank in this exam. We are not here to master it. We will understand the optional subject that much that it will help you to achieve a better rank, a better service that we desired. So the second is scoring and success rate. The third thing is syllabus. See, before going on to any optional, you see the syllabus whether it is short or large. See, if the syllabus is short, naturally it will save time that you can use on your GS on your essay, and that is a win-win situation. If the optional syllabus is very large, that you have to dedicate too much energy and time on the optional only, when will you study GS? Because GS is of 1000 marks and essay is 250 marks. So you cannot leave those two important parts, right? You have to put energies, equally on them. So you have to consider this, whether the syllabus is short or large. Next is whether the syllabus is static or dynamic. By static and dynamic, I mean whether you have to update your optional notes on a daily basis by reading the newspapers or any other information that you get in social media or from any media, right? So if it is static, again it will save your time, because you have made notes and not much is needed, not much is not required to be updated on a daily basis. But if it is dynamic, that means you have to update it on a daily basis, then it again consumes your time. So static होना एक अच्छी चीज है. Fourth, yes, one thing I just tell you here itself, that static, that no subject, no optional is completely static or completely dynamic. Whatever we are talking here is relatively static and relatively dynamic, right? I believe this is clear to you. Once you start studying any optional, you will remember that even your history is not static. Okay, there can be new discoveries. Then nature of questions. See, after looking into these three dimensions, criterias, you will find that what kind of questions are there from that optional. If the questions are direct, straightforward, UPSC is picking direct lines from the syllabus itself, or on the other hand, questions are very dynamic, very ambiguous, right, very vague, that you have to put your lot of efforts on just deciphering the questions. So it again creates a problem for you, right? So the nature of questions that are being asked in the question paper, your mains examination, is also a very important criteria that you should ponder over. The fifth is whether a subject has benefit on GS, essay and interview or not. This is important because if any subject have some overlapping, naturally when you cover your optional, it will help you in covering your portions of GS also, or at least it will deepen your understanding of GS, it will open your horizons, your thought process. So that is also important criteria, right? So if you have to make a choice, then please look into these 5 important criterias. They will be very, very useful for you. Now, since I am teacher of anthropology, so let me tell you, and let's check the fitness of anthropology, whether anthropology fits into these criterias or not, and if at all it fits, up to what extent, right? We will judge each and everything related to anthropology, and let's start. Anthropology, that is the study of us, humans, we humans. So let's see on the very first criteria, interesting. Okay, see whether anthropology is interesting or not. Let me tell you from definition of anthropology by the father of anthropology. The father of anthropology is Aristotle, and Aristotle defined anthropology as the gossip जो आप करते हैं सभी लोग, as the gossip which revolves around men. gossip which revolves around men, and anthropologist is a gossiper. So किसको gossip करना अच्छा नहीं लगता, right? So it's a gossip which revolves around us only. So if it revolves around us, naturally we like it. It is very interesting because it is about us only. Let me give you another example that how you can see that anthropology is interesting. Nowadays one e-book reader is very popular, audiobooks, Audible, Amazon product. So if you have seen or listened to some of the audiobooks from there, or if you have googled it, then you may see some advertisements from Audible. What Audible advertises nowadays, that quote, and I'm talking about what they say: talk to people about themselves. They say, talk to people about themselves and they will listen for hours. In these few words, there is a very deep meaning, right? If you talk about the people about themselves, they will listen for hours. So, if you study about your own self, about your own society, about your own nature, then naturally you will find it very, very interesting, right? Anthropology is about infinite curiosity about ourselves. Whether we are a biological being, whether we are a socio-cultural being, okay, whether it is about our past or it is about future, whether the way we use language, and all these aspects, it is infinite curiosity about ourselves. So it will make you more and more curious to dig more and more information about yourself. That is why it is very interesting. You cannot resist yourself by picking a book on anthropology. Once you start reading anthropology, you will start loving it because it is about you only. You will learn lot many things about yourself, your behavior, your nature, about your value preferences, about various customs and institutions that you come across on a daily basis. So once you start seeing about yourself, you will find it very, very interesting, right? Not only this, it is interesting because it will bust many of the myths and biases that you are carrying in your head. Once you read anthropology, you will see that how stupid I was. मुझे ये पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसा भी होता है. Even you will know some of the important things, that what is marriage, what is family, what are the various types of religions are there in the entire world, why they are found in this way, right? What is the role of religion in the society? You will learn a lot about these things. Let me give you one important thing that will enlighten you a little bit. You may not know, but the origin of family, some anthropologists theorize that it is rooted in our biology. Once in our course of evolution, we stand erect on these 2 feet. So the birth canal of female, it becomes narrow, and from a narrow birth canal, a well developed human brain, which is very large in size, cannot come out. That means the child which is born has to be dependent on the parents, right? Somebody is required to take care for the child until the child grows, the brain faculties grows, right? So it requires dependence. The second thing in the same biological root is that once the birth canal is narrow, So the labor become very painful, and the female who gave birth, she also is dependent on someone who can take care of her when she was in pain, labor. So here you will find that how family came into being. Family is rooted in biology. It is a socio-cultural institution, but it is rooted in biology. So these things will be very interesting when you read them. So it is very interesting. The second part of this heading is easy for aspirants from all academic backgrounds. Yes, see, anthropology is a very beautiful blend of humanities or social sciences, humanities and sciences, natural sciences. It is a blend of all these. Some people think that doctors or people with medical background, biology background, have an advantage in anthropology. But I would say no. Anthropology is such a subject which do justice for the people from all backgrounds. Whether you are from science background, biology background, or you are from social sciences or humanities. It does not discriminate. Moreover, 3/4 of the syllabus, right, if not 3/4, 2/3 and more, right, between 2/3 and 3/4 is from social sciences, right. So not entirely it is biology. Only one portion is from biology, and that biology you have to cover anyhow when you are preparing for prelims or GS mains. You have to study that. You cannot leave that portion, right. So it is a blend, it is an amalgamation of social sciences, humanities and sciences. So it is equally good for people from all backgrounds. The second portion is scoring and success rate. I have already told you about the 69th report, 69th annual report of UPSC, in which UPSC says that in anthropology 880 candidates appeared in mains, and out of these 880, 85 were in the final list, right. That means the success rate is 9.7%, and 9.7% success rate, that out of 100, 10 are getting selected. It is quite high. 9.7 success rate is quite high. It's not that bad. Second, this scoring aspect. See, anthropology is highly scoring. You can just Google some of the toppers or the average marks in anthropology. See, if you are doing guided hard work under proper guidance, with guided hard work, you can very easily score 320 plus, right. But for that you require hard work and proper guidance. That guidance can be of your seniors or a mentor that you choose on your own, right. Now, so in this, the score is very high for anthropology optional for the past few years. You can check out on the Google and you will find the list. And success rate is also pretty high, and I am quoting for 1 year. You can just Google and you will find some of the the statistics related to this discipline. Next, the next is syllabus, third point, whether it is large or short. See, for anthropology, the syllabus is very short and it is highly structured. What they are going to ask and what they are not going to ask, they have clearly written in the syllabus itself, and they ask questions from that syllabus only, right. UPSC asked from this short syllabus. Short and structured syllabus is there for anthropology. You can very easily cover that syllabus in 3 months. And if you have made proper synoptic notes, then with those synoptic notes, you can very easily revise your optional in 1 week that is available to you during the mains, right? So within 3 months you can complete the syllabus and you can easily revise that in 1 week with proper synoptic notes. Okay. Next is whether the syllabus is static or dynamic. See, anthropology is relatively static. Not much is changing in anthropology very fast on a daily basis. And for that, there is a big reason that is inherent in the nature of the discipline itself. See, anthropological research require lot of time, right? One research take years altogether, 5-6 years and more. And till the time it gets published, it takes more than 10-15 years. So whatever research that you study, whatever references that you study in your optional is approximately 20 years old. So it is not much changing. You don't have to refresh it on a daily basis. So it is relatively static. Then the fourth point is that what kind of questions are being asked in anthropology. See, in anthropology, the questions are directly from the syllabus. UPSC picks up direct lines from the syllabus, right? I will give you some examples of the questions. They asked senescence, cultural relativism, Asian Homo erectus, relative dating methods, right? Social structure, Neolithic cultures, town planning in Harappan culture, ways of acquiring mate in tribal society. So these are direct lines from the syllabus. Some of you feel that some of this content you might be, hearing for the very first time. But that is not a problem, I'm telling you. Once you go through the entire syllabus, these will be peanuts for you. You will know each and every detail of it. Yes, you require some of hard work, right? Some of the case studies that you need to incorporate in your answers, and that we will discuss that. And all these case studies, you as an aspirant need not to make any much effort, because we will provide you each and every case study, whether it is from the past or whether it is contemporary. We research on a daily basis to collect all relevant case studies which are in and around us, which we can use in the example as an example in your answer. So the nature of questions in anthropology, it is direct, straightforward, except 1 or 2, but those are not that important, because you can get very decent marks if you study it properly. The fifth thing, that what are the benefits anthropology gives you as far as your GS is concerned, essay is concerned, or interview is concerned. So I believe these are clear, so I'm taking some space. Okay, so benefits in GS, essay and interview. See, this benefits I have divided into 2 parts, that what benefits anthropology gives. So let us see it from two different dimensions. First is overlap with GS. GS or SA. And the second part is perspective. Let me elaborate upon these two dimensions. The first is that overlap with GS. See, anthropology is an interdisciplinary subject. Whatever you study, whatever optional or whatever discipline you study, it one way or the other impact we humans, because we humans have created these disciplines. So naturally that has an overlapping with anthropology. Whatever you study, it has some portion, some overlapping with anthropology, because everything that we study concerns us only. Whether we study your biology, life sciences, whether you study psychology, whether you study medical sciences, whether you study international relations, sociology, economics, you take anything, that everything that you study is one way or the other. It concerns humans. So naturally it has some overlapping with anthropology. But let me help you in that how you can see that overlaps with GS or SA. So you know that your GS is asked in prelims as well as in mains. So let me tell you first in prelims. In prelims, many of my students who have studied anthropology, they find it very, very easy to solve the questions of biology, biotechnology, bioinformatics, right, genome, all these questions, basically the questions related to biology and science and technology. Whether it is DNA fingerprinting, whether it is iRNA or RNA silencing technology, all these, if you have studied anthropology, you will see them from a different light, because you have prepared them intensively in your optional, right? And I can assure you that you can easily solve 2-3 questions in your GS prelims if you have studied anthropology. You can find more provided the amount of questions are more, right? So that is how it is helping in prelims. Then let's talk about GS mains. You know that GS mains have 4 papers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. GS1 have 3 components: history, society and geography and ecology. So anthropology, in anthropology we studies prehistory. Prehistory means Paleolithic periods, right? Paleolithic में बहुत 3 है, right? Mesolithic, Neolithic, Chalcolithic and Harappan cultures. All these cultures you study, and these are part of anthropology and these are part of history as well. Some questions of art and culture also, some questions of primitive religions, right? There was a question in 2015 mains. There are some more questions also, but I remember that now. That question is that why there is not much change in the religious practices. The crux I am telling you, from the Harappan time till today, right? Justify. That is a history question basically. Paper 1 GS question. I think this was the first question, very first question of 2015. You can go through it and you will find that if you have studied anthropology, you can very well address that question very easily. So in history, you will find a lot of overlapping of anthropology. Second, society. See, anthropology is the study of humans as the social being, socio-cultural being. In society, in paper 1 GS, you may be asked issues related to women, elderly, tribal, caste issues, regional issues, or any such issue, right? Child issues. So if you have studied anthropology, you will find it much easy. You can relate it very well, right? Then you are writing as a general social aspect, right? Social perspective. The third thing in paper 1 is geography and environment, some portion of environment sometime, but mainly it is geography. So in geography or ecology, naturally we study humans in anthropology as the cultural ecology approach. You may not find this term comfortable right now, but once you go through the syllabus, you will find that there is a lot of overlapping in geography and ecology also. So in paper 1, even geology, right, the distribution of different cultures in different areas. जंगल में अलग कल्चर है, माउंटेनियस एरियाज में अलग कल्चर है, इवन माउंटेन रीजन्स में, in mountainous areas the body size and shape differs, right? Even you find that people in near the tropics are darker in skin. So there is a biological reason, there is an anthropological reason behind it. Okay, this is an adaptation. The tropics receive higher amount of ultraviolet rays, and these ultraviolet rays can cause various problems in eyes, in skin. They may cause cancer, they may cause cataract. So presence of dark skin or excessive melanin protects those populations from those harmful ultraviolet rays. Similarly, why people have wider nostrils in tropics and narrow and long nose in the temperate regions? The same, that is also a result of adaptation. I will not go in much detail into each specifics, but we will discuss that when we come to the class. Even disease distribution can be seen through ecological or geographical angle. So that is why where you will see a lot of overlapping in all these three: history, society, and geography. Direct relevance you can see. Then in paper 2, paper 2 is about governance, polity, administration, right, as well as governance related issues. So here we have tribal administration in anthropology. We have administration of weaker sections like scheduled castes, minorities, women, the issues of ethnic minorities, right, and ethnic violence. We have to deal with the issues like regionalism, communalism. All these areas, whether it is tribal administration or the problems of all the weaker sections, it has an overlapping with paper 2 GS, right? So you will find it that it will help you in paper 2 also to make your wider perspective. I will come to this dimension. Just wait for a while till I just enumerate and enlist all the overlappings that anthropology have with GS subject. Okay, then policy making is also in paper 2. Bottom up planning, outcome oriented approach, all these things we cover in anthropology also, right? And that is where it will help you to score decent marks in paper 2 GS also, because it will give you an approach also. In paper 3 GS, you have science and technology, where every year one question is related to biology, right, or biotechnology or any other biology related issues. There is internal security in paper 3, right, and internal security, the biggest challenge to the internal security of India is Naxalism, right, and there are other conflicts in India, right, whether it is the conflict in the northeast, ethnic violence is taking place. So that issues, you can better understand the ethnic issues, you can better understand the problems of Naxal and how you can find solution for them, that you can understand with the help of anthropology. So here also anthropology overlaps with paper 3 GS. In paper 4, that is ethics, values, norms that are found in our society, right, and you know that norms and values vary from one society to other society. So if the norms and values vary from one society to other, their understanding can be very important, right. In anthropology, we study human nature, right. Even Encyclopedia Britannica described anthropology as the study of, it is the discourse on human nature, right. So basically it is the study of human nature, our biological nature as well as our moral, social nature. Even Immanuel Kant that you study in ethics, deontological ethics, right, he also defined anthropology, okay, and his contribution also we see in anthropology a little bit. But there is a very foundational principle of anthropology that can be very, very useful, right. That is the most direct overlapping that I am telling you, is that there is a concept of cultural relativism, which is the foundation of anthropological theory, which is the foundation of anthropology as a discipline, right, whether it is a profession or it is a discipline, that makes its foundation. Cultural relativism in simplest sense means not judging others from our own value biases. It says that all cultures are unique, their practices are unique and they are equally valid. No culture is superior and no culture is inferior. This principle can be very, very useful when you write answers for ethics. So I can say that it will be useful in paper 4. In essay, let's move to essay. In essay as well, if you see this year's essay paper, you will find that some of the essays, especially the philosophical ones, you can better understand if you have studied anthropology. So that is where essay में भी आपको anthropology help कर सकती है, right. Even in interview, you have to talk, right, in much logical sense. You have to put your arguments in a proper context and perspective. You have to sound logical, you have to sound balanced. That balanced approach is an outcome of the study of anthropology, because you have studied your own nature. You have thought over on your own preferences, your biases, the way of acting. Okay, so it is very useful in interview. Now, this was the direct overlapping that I was talking about, but not only this, anthropology gives you a holistic perspective. Anthropology gives you a holistic perspective. Let me explain what is holistic perspective. See, when you look at anything, You cannot look at that problem from only one dimension. One social problem, maybe poverty, is not just an economic issue or just a social issue. Rather, you have to see poverty, or you can take gender violence. This is not just social or law and order issue, right? You have to look at multiple perspectives. That may be geographical, कि वहाँ पे एग्रीकल्चर कैसा होता है, राइट? वहाँ पे एग्रीकल्चर की प्रोडक्टिविटी भी पॉवर्टी को डिटरमिन कर रही है. हिस्टोरिकल रीजन्स भी हो सकते हैं, सोशल रीजन्स भी हो सकते हैं कि किसी कास्ट ग्रुप को लैंड रखने ही ना दिया जाए. इकोनॉमिक रीजन्स भी हो सकते हैं, दे लैक टेक्नोलॉजी, दे लैक एक्सेस टू द मार्केट. देयर कैन बी रिलीजियस रीजन्स. बैगा, हिल बेगा, they don't plow the land, Bega of Chhattisgarh. Why? Because they consider that plowing is like tearing the chest of Mother Earth. अगर हम प्लो करेंगे तो ये हल जो है हमारी धरती माता के छाती पे चलेगा. So that is why they don't plow. That religious reason is also a reason for lower productivity in agriculture, right? And you know that there can be political reasons, the political policies, indeed they have an impact. So that holism, that holistic perspective will be your own approach if you study anthropology. See, this holistic perspective is required in writing answers for all these. Whether you write answer for GS1, whether you write answer for GS2, 3, 4, or you write an essay, or you talk anything with regard to interview. In all these aspects, your holistic perspective is the key to score better marks. And indeed, it is very, very important for anthropology. So, for anthropology, you need holistic perspective because holism is the foundation of anthropology, right? You have to look at human beings from all dimensions, not from a single dimension, but all possible dimensions. You have to analyze humans. Not only this, rather, anthropology gives you a better, more analytical attitude. You will start analyzing things. You will start exploring the unexplored parts, right? That analytical approach that you develop as a student of anthropology is very, very useful in reading any text, any material that you read, whether it is current affair, whether it is static GS or anything. That helps you to widen your horizons, widen your thinking. You can start questioning the text. And when you start questioning the text, that is the most important thing that I can say, that you are going in a very right direction. Okay? Because answering, many philosophers says that if you start questioning, then you are really learning. Answering can be done by just memorizing some text. So here you will start questioning from the text. Whatever you read, whether you read newspapers, current affairs, your static books or your optional books, it will give you that analytical aptitude as well as that will be your attitude. It will be imbibed in your behavior, in your nature. So that is what I can say, that this is all about anthropology. And if I see all these 5 criterias, then I see that these criterias, anthropology fits very well. No doubt other disciplines also fits well. So it's your choice how you see. But if you study anthropology, it will make you more human. And with this, I will end, and we will meet again tomorrow with the anthropology syllabus. We will try to understand the entire syllabus of anthropology. Till then, thank you, take care and stay safe. All the very best.